If you feel like sweats have been destroying you in Fortnite with their crazy builds and fast edits, you are not alone. I'm guessing a lot of you are in the same boat as me, and you don't have 8 hours a day to play like my brother Cole. The dude is an absolute monster now and outbuilds me constantly when we are on the same team.
He wants to build battle. I don't want to build battle. I'm shooting from the bottom. Nice, let's go.
As nice as it is to have Cole fight my build battles for me, when we aren't playing together, I have a really hard time against great builders, so I started thinking about what pro I wanted to play like. The first one that came to mind was Booga, and as much as I like to think I play like this,
they're all in zone.
Let's go, dude, I'm so good.
I'm honestly not even sure what I just watched. Those plays are absolutely insane from one of the best Fortnite players in the world. My style of play is much more basic with simple builds and edits. I'm sure you all play very similar to what I do. I really did used to be a great pubs player though, so instead of making excuses for myself, I want to get better at building. I decided I would play the rodeybros creative map for 30 minutes a day for 7 straight days, and you will not believe the difference it made in my gameplay. Just wait until you see how to get better at editing and overall at Fortnite in Season 10. Before we get into my day 1 editing practice, I did want to show you guys my settings, and then also I'm using an Xbox Elite controller for anyone wondering. I thought it's really important to show you guys what sensitivity I'm rocking. I also wanted to emphasize again that I did change my edit bind or my confirm bind. I thought that was really important. You need to figure out what binds work best for you. And then also one of the things I really debated was using edit mode aim assist. This is something that's absolutely massive, and Cole's the one that actually got me to turn it off on PC. I like using it on Xbox because the frames are a little bit slower, but whenever you're on PC, things are so smooth, you can really control everything a lot easier, and so that's why I decided to turn that off. These are important decisions you really should try to make early in the practice process of editing. It will help you a lot in the long term if you continue practicing with the same settings over time, and make sure you're using everything that's right for you. I'm not going to lie, day 1 was absolutely miserable. Before any of you try to practice building, you have to listen to the biggest problem that I think beginners have when they are kind of getting started. And for me, my biggest mistake was trying to play creatives for 30 straight minutes instead of taking breaks. My hand was absolutely fried, and that's because of all the edits you're hitting. You're just constantly moving for 24 straight minutes. I literally couldn't clench my left hand, and I know that sounds so stupid. We're playing a video game, but it's truth to God, like that's what happened. And so I would really recommend that whenever you start off, you take a break after each trial, whether that be 5 minutes of not playing to rest or hopping in an actual game. It's up to you, but definitely take a breather. It kind of sounds like you're playing a sport, but you truly do need to give your hand a break. People say gaming's not athletic, and they might be right about that, but building in Fortnite absolutely destroys your hands. We don't want anyone developing arthritis because of our edit course, so be safe out there, gamers. When it comes to my actual builds and edits, I will give myself the brutal self-assessment that my 90s were trash. In the words of Cole, my edits were herky-jerky, and he said I just looked like I was rushing, which made me mess up even more. What I learned right away on day 1 was that editing slowly is the best way to start. When you rush through builds, you start to mess up and create bad habits. If you feel like your edits and builds are not great like mine, then be honest with yourself. That's the first step to actually getting better and realizing what builds you should improve on. I also think you should consider just doing the free roam part of the rodeybros edit course on the first day. Not being able to finish the timed edit course can be annoying, and I actually found that practicing specific edits outside of the course helped me out big time. You saw that it'll take me over 12 minutes the first 2 runs. That's a long time to be in that edit course, and people just kind of get discouraged, and we don't want that to happen to you. So take it from me, the number one thing that motivated me to try and get better was one of my favorite streamers, Tim the Tatman. You all, I'm sure, know of him. He started playing other games because of his frustrations with Fortnite, and I loved him, so it was really hard to see him go, but I'm not going to give up just yet. I want to continue improving at the game, so when they do make great changes like this past vaulting of the combat and it brings other players back, I want to be able to play like just as well and dominate along the way.
Come on, you bots. Come right at me. He sniped me out of the air! I'm getting
On the second day, I realized that I actually hated my edit confirm button, so this was a game changer. I used to have confirm as the left trigger, and yes, I am a controller player, and I'm sure mouse and keyboard players, you've changed your edit button a few times, but I just felt like when I did back-to-back edits, it wasn't consistent enough. I changed my confirm bind to the left button, and I was 100% slower than I was the day before, but I was literally building from the ground up when it came to editing. I was still stupid on this day and played for a half hour straight because I wanted to get the new confirm bind down, so my hand was dead after playing. I did feel like by the end of the half hour, I was starting to make progress with the muscle memory, which would pay massive dividends by the end of the week. Overall, I didn't see a ton of improvement in day 3. I was still getting used to the new confirm bind, and I also hadn't really assessed my weakest parts of my edits, so this day was really just to stay consistent and get my practice in. Every day isn't going to be perfect, but it's about the process of staying consistent and doing it for a week straight. You can't make anything a habit unless you continue to practice. Day 4 was when things started changing for me. Cole is a way better editor than me and gave me a bunch of helpful tips. He watched me do a full run, and I did break 10 minutes for the first time, but he noticed multiple things I was doing wrong, so I really would advise that if you have anyone that's a better builder or a better editor, make sure to invite them into the Rodey Bros edit course or just into an edit course in general. You don't always have to use our stuff, but have them watch you and give you advice on what you can do better. So I didn't even know what a scissor jump was, first of all, and I was atrocious at doing them. And I mean, literally, I couldn't do them and still probably can't do them very well. Colt recommended that after each edit course run, I take a break for a few minutes and then go into the free roam and utilize the specific edit and build courses. This was the first day I practiced edits I was horrible at and only focused on them for like 5 minutes straight, and I started seeing way quicker improvements, so definitely do that if you want to see progress, and do it earlier than day 4 if you're going to try to do creative courses for 7 straight days. On day 5, I actually only did the edit course once and spent the other 20 minutes grinding in the free roam. I felt like I was getting way more out of targeting specific things I struggled with. I still was not great at scissor jumps. I also had a hard time with pyramid edits, editing down from the top of a tower, and tunneling, to name a few, but I was making progress. I will say in hindsight, there were some edits I practiced a ton of, like using the cone edits to go straight up, that I don't really use in-game. I know they are great, but I like starting simple and working my way up. My advice would be to focus on edits that you think play to your style of Fortnite and practice those the most. I really wish I had done that sooner and will continue focusing on the edits that are within my ability. Doesn't make sense to practice edits that only players like Faye Sway and Booga make. I want to get better, but I don't ever expect to be a Fortnite god. You gotta have those realistic expectations and make simple edit plays like my boy Tim.
He sounds pretty.
I sniped, Tim, above you.
I just edited him into my box and let him fall in. Oh boy, that was actually clean pog.
Finally, we are on to days 6 and 7. These are the 2 days I finally broke 8 minutes, which if you've been on this edit course, you know that that's not a great time, but for me, I had improved 4 minutes in just 1 week, which was pretty insane, and I'm going to continue getting better because I plan to continue editing going forward, and I just started feeling more confident. I started to figure out what a scissor jump actually was and quicker ways to finish edits. I had gotten much more consistent with the more simple edits and started feeling like I could make some edit plays in public matches. I actually hopped into games after practicing, and you're going to see footage of an 18 kill game on Xbox, and I know it's on console, but it was still pretty impressive. Before I practiced my edits, I was really only dropping like 10 kill games, and I was stoked about that. What is sad is I used to drop 10 kill games every single night and multiple times in one night, and so that's why I started practicing in the first place, and I wanted to practice for a week to see what kind of impact it would have, and my assessment is it really worked. I watch pros like everyone else, and just making simple, consistent wall and floor edits makes a huge difference in your game. I've been noticing I'm making smarter build plays and feeling less nervous about those tight box fights, which is leading to me taking less damage and winning more fights. Think about how many fights you lose from messing up a build or edit in tough situations. This type of practice is really what helps you start dominating in Season 10. Looking back, I would really recommend you all practice your builds and edits every day, or at least every day that you play Fortnite, whether that be just one run through the edit course a day or 10 to 20 minutes a day in the free roam course on edits you aren't great at. I promise you will start seeing major improvements after just 7 days. I know a lot of you don't have a chance to play every day, but any practice you can get in If you really don't know where to start on the free roam edits, I recommend you start with the wall edits first. Those are the easiest to learn, they will help you boost your confidence, and you actually use wall edits more than any of the other edits. A great edit can save a shambles fight in almost any game. After you master the wall edits, try out some of the ramp edits. I am still not perfect at those, but I found these to be the next easiest. They are all over the edit course too, so you need to get these down before trying the course. Cone edits are what really separate amazing Fortnite players from everybody else, so save those for last. I am working on those as we speak. You've seen that I'm not very good at them, so I should have some tips for you all in future videos. The moral of this story is, and you can see it within my gameplay, is that you're not going to see amazing improvement in 1 week. Yes, I did cut off 4 minutes on my time, but at the same time, I was still really struggling with certain edits. It was only 7 days, and that's not enough time to master editing. You're going to need to compound this over time, and I'm sure after a month, I'm going to see even greater improvement, and that's what I'm going to continue doing, is practice editing every single day. And my goal for you guys is to show you that you shouldn't get frustrated. There were multiple times where I literally was cutting corners inside of the edit course just to feel good about myself, and that's not the way to improve. You should take the long route and make sure you're doing everything correctly, because there are no shortcuts whenever you get in those live public matches, and that's what I was learning the hard way whenever I was hopping in pubs and still not doing well. You guys need to make sure you're doing everything the right way, and you're going to start seeing those results over time. Other than that though, this has been Josh from rodeybros. Thanks to everyone that tuned in, and also please use code rodeybros in the item shop. We'd really appreciate it, and also check out our Twitch at rodeybros. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.